Well, good morning everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 28th of September 2023. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Okay, well, the week has been tough again. We've got a lot more pressure this week. More stocks falling out of the stock pick count. We've just got to hold our fire and live through this period at the moment. Focusing on what we do and how we do it is always a good thing to spend your time at the moment rather than worrying about the market. There are a few good stocks there. We'll look at a few good ones we've got there. You can see in Stockradar when you go there, we've got some good stocks in rating trend, 10s and things like that, but not a lot of them. But still, while there is some there, sort of saving our bacon a bit at the moment. Okay, well, firstly, let's go across to the top trend intensity ratings, stocks that are doing well. 7 Group's doing well, car sales doing well, Pro Medicus is jumping to new highs there. You can see that from that chart there. And some of those other stocks there are holding okay. A little bit of a pullback, maybe a couple of them, but they're all looking pretty good to me. So that's the top 10 we've got at the moment. We can go to the stock pick count, which is around about down 4 to 33 of 184 stocks. So we've lost another 4 this week, so we've only got 25 stock picks of 184 stocks there. So I have 161 stocks there and 8 ETFs of 23. Anyway, we'll get back to that a bit later on. Firstly, let's just go to the overseas markets. Dow Jones Industrial Average, well, pressure is showing. They're starting to wilt here. The last couple of weeks we've seen some down. We saw last week a little dalliance with support. Now it's falling again this week. It's not over yet. We could still have a good couple of nights yet, but the pressure is certainly there. Sellers aren't enormous. And the momentum is still positive but slowing. So, we're making a new low, a lower high above a major area, and we're starting to sort of fall through here. So that's not such a good sign at the moment. So again, we're just taking a conservative approach as we have been for a while. And the S&P is a bit similar. We're starting to fall through this low here. There's a bit of selling appearing there. This is certainly slowing. So the picture hasn't fallen over yet, but it is falling. So, and again, we've got this big weight above here at the old highs. The Nasdaq, not so bad. It's holding up reasonably well this week. It's holding this sort of the old high that it broke above before. There's certainly plenty of selling going on at the moment, but we're not sort of falling too badly. So it hasn't really gone up as much, like it didn't go down as much before. But that's just the way the markets work. But there's a bit of selling there. Again, it's a warning sign. Lights are flashing amber, so we just got to be careful there. Okay, now copper still going down. No real sign of much there. It's just falling to new lower highs all the time. Gold, starting to tip over a little bit at the moment. We've seen some pressure here, just falling below 1900. This resistance is solid. It can't get through there. Not a lot of selling here, but still not a fantastic look for the moment. So we're still pretty well out of that. The only saving grace is for our market is sometimes the Australian dollar has been giving a boost to the Australian dollar gold price. Anyway, that's the US dollar gold price. We've also got Brent crude, which is also continuing higher. It's doing okay. It's broken out from this area down here. Clear break. So we've got some good moves up here. We saw a big selling challenge there last week. Big volume, but no dent in the price. So that's good. So the momentum's positive, the moving average is positive, and the trend is up. So Brent crude, I guess you can only call it one way, which is up further for the moment. Okay, now our market, frustration, I know, and it's those leaders that are driving this index. We're seeing a bit of pressure again at the moment. It's not too bad, but it's not not really telling us a great deal about what it wants to do. So for the moment, we just have to sort of be a bit patient and wait for the resolution to occur, which will hopefully be eventually to the upside. Whether it comes from lower first, I don't really know. So we have to wait and see on that one. Okay, so that is the S&P. I did show you before the stock pick count, which is down 4 to 33, 25 stock picks. The portfolios, they're coming off a bit, but they're still fairly aggressive. We've got the conservative 5 out of 10, so that's a 50-50 call there. It's running at 10.2% CAGR. Energizer 5 is still up. It's come back a bit, still doing a positive sign, but they're all pretty well full of pound for the 10, which is 7 out of 10, which is still pretty strong. So although we've got this small group of stock picks, they are doing quite well, some of them. So we're sort of maintaining our range, and we're seeing a bit of weakness there, but that's what the market's delivering, so we just have to live through this phase at the moment. Okay, so that's the trend intensity thing. So let's get into a few stocks for you. Just going across a couple of leaders. QBE Insurance. The insurers have been pretty good corner of the market, actually. And QBE itself is still trying to push through this high, this major 7-year high here. It's certainly wobbling around here and has done for probably 9 months or 6 or 7 months. So it really hasn't gone far, but it's still, we've got some good volume here. It's just rallying up here. So I guess we've got some very good support down here. So, of course, our stop is going to be sitting down there somewhere to protect the trend we already have there. So QBE still looks okay. Trend intensity rating is 9 plus. Stand back, get a perspective. Plus 9 is sound there, so that's a good view. I just thought I'd have a look at WiseTech. We chopped out of this a while ago. It was a big fall, and I know it's a situation where you get these momentum stocks and they rise and they rise and they rise. And suddenly you get this sort of thing and you go, whoa, and you tend to some people tend to hang on, will I, won't I? But really, for the rule-based trader, it was a get out, the stop was hit, so he got out the next week. And I think we're thankful we are. When we see the change here, this is a significant change in the price action and also the participation. So there's a lot of selling here for some reason, and momentum has just disappeared. And I don't really know why that is. I don't really care why it is, but I know it's happening, and that's the most important thing. So WiseTech now, after having a fairly hefty rise there, a couple of good trades, we've now finished this one here. Trend intensity rating is -6, and it's a step aside for me for sure. Okay, just on a couple of trend reversal front there. We've looked at Nine Entertainment before. It's a really interesting situation because there really is a very good base being built here, and I can sort of now get to draw a sort of slight upward slant there. We've got the moving average flat, a bit of volume, neutral flat. So everything is sort of flat and waiting. It's a bit like the calm before the storm, we hope. So we hope it's an upside storm. So I've got my little dotted line here about where I'd like the chart to go. Whether it goes there, I don't know. But that is if we follow the historical pattern of price and the action, this is what we would expect from here. So a good base below there, and we just need a little bit of a kick to get this thing moving. Trend intensity rating is still -2, so it's neutral. So we still stand aside, but we get prepared for what we might see there. So maybe a bit of time off, I don't know, but keep an eye on it. Net Wealth Group has gone quite well. It's been suffering through this last couple of weeks pretty well. It's come back a bit, but it's all holding there. That stop has certainly been risen from now, so that's not the stop at the moment. But we can see our entry point back here. A bit of volume, momentum is positive, it's above the average. So trend intensity rating is +8, so that's fine. We just hang on to this one for the moment. It's had a good break up. That corner of the market, Hub 24, Net Wealth, they're all doing pretty well at the moment. So certainly, just watch your stop, but the trend is up, so keep following it. So that's Net Wealth and Nine Entertainment. We go to the new highs, of course. And this week we see our little bit prospect Paladin. I'm glad somebody brought this to attention to me a few weeks ago. As it moved through about the 80 cent area, 85 cent area, it started to look pretty good there. But as I'm a conservative sort of trader, I tend to wait because I don't have any clear trend reversal pattern here, and price is so important to me. I couldn't get a reading on this one as far as price goes, so I have to wait for the new high to appear. And it looks like this might be the week. Because it's now pushed above here. I'm not too sure what it's done today, but we've got great volume here, great momentum, it's above the average, so a new all-time high really is something that you do buy, and the rating's +3, so it is ready to confirm that price break to new high. So that's an interesting one. I know these uranium stocks have been in quite well. We'll look at a couple more in a second, but Paladin certainly is one that I follow and is in Stockradar that looks pretty good at the moment. Okay. The proviso, of course, it's a mining stock, so beware, be careful, make sure you have your stops in place. And, if the stops are you can't get your stop in a tight enough range, and just to halve your exposure and widen your stop a bit, just to make sure you're safe. Okay? These stocks are, when they get momentum on, they're certainly worth it, as we saw with things like WiseTech. But when they chop out, when they get a signal, you've got to chop out. But for the moment, there's a really good opportunity that something crazy could happen, and if it is, I'd like to be on board, and it's one of my signals, it's one of my stocks, so I follow it. Okay, so that's Paladin. The other one we've got here, which has also been quite constructive in the way it's just developed, Pro Medicus's pattern. We had a nice little trend reversal back down here from this downtrend here off the highs from 65 back down to about 40, which was a pretty big move. It then did a trend reversal here, broke up here, volume, momentum was all good. It's continued on higher highs, higher lows. through the all-time high, and then we now had a little spurt of energy there, a bit of solid buying there, quite good across here, not many red bars here, and momentum is very positive. So Pro Medicus is doing us proud, and again, it's one of those stocks that is giving us a bit of return, which is desperately what we need at the moment. So thank you very much, Pro Medicus, for being a nice guy. Okay, now the other one, of course, is AUB, which we've been following a bit. Again, it's come back. These things happen. You can see here, 1, 2, 3, they still happen, provided you maintain that pattern of high highs and high lows, it's okay. So, I sit in this one and I sit there, had a good position from back here, trend intensity rating, well, that should be probably come back a little bit now, that's probably from last week. But it's certainly been very positive, the whole volume expansion, the momentum, it all looks pretty sound from a solid perspective, and I think maybe it's a trend intensity rating of about +8, which is still very strong. So AUB Group still keeps making money. Okay, and just a couple of the other little uranium stocks we're going to have a look at. This one here, if you recognise it, the old favourite, Deep Yellow. Well, again, the same sort of picture here. We've had a big consolidation for a couple of years through here. Trading range, about 3 highs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 lows there, and we're now starting to push above these highs. We haven't got there yet, but it looks like we may do it. And the reason being because we've got some very exciting volume and some very exciting momentum pushing up here, and we're well past the average. And I don't really care with these stocks because it can still go high, and the average can catch up very quickly with the higher prices and as the lower prices drop out. So it certainly looks like an interesting one to me, Deep Yellow, if you can close above that high. It's just around 140 or something just below there at the moment. And another little one is Bannerman Energy, for those that follow these stocks. It's doing okay. There's a similar sort of picture here. Let me just get the titles down here so you can see it all. Okay, so this is, we've had a good downtrend down here. For me, there was a little trend reversal pattern down here. It wasn't enough to qualify me, so I had to stand aside as much as you'd sort of like to take these ones, but you can't. There wasn't enough trend intensity to clear that, but an aggressive hunter may have taken that one purely on price. If they did, but we're waiting for all this to happen, and even if it does get to that's 380 something like up there, there's still a good chance of a new high, and we all trying to adjust to these high prices can be quite scary sometimes, but if you love momentum enough, you won't care about the price too much, and that's how we trade. So if Bannerman Energy goes through there, you can get a good jump like that. I mean, this jump from what was that, about 30 cents to 360 in a matter of about 9 months here last time. So it can do it. We've had a good correction. We've got some good support. We've got some good volume. All those stocks across the board are looking like that. So that's quite a good thing, I think. So it's quite a fun thing to do. And at the moment, with opportunity sparse, I think it's quite good that it's there. So that is Bannerman Energy. They're all the stocks I want to go through for now. We're just going to go to trading tactics quickly on this trend intensity which I've been building and showing you through. Last week we went through price and trend. This week I want to go through volume and how I build it in there. So with volume, I run a moving average over the volume to smooth it because the histogram can be very up and down, and to read those up and downs is quite hard. So I just smooth it with a moving average, which gives me an idea, and you can see that on my charts. So the 4 conditions I have for volume, if volume expands and price rises, that's very, very bullish. If volume contracts and price rises, it gets a slightly lesser value. Okay, and volume expanding and prices falling, that's against an excessive downward value, and a slightly lesser value will be volume contracting and price falling. So I have 4 readings on volume, only one can be true at any one time, and that one that is true is then input into the trend intensity rating. So 4 of the 4 there, the value that I come out with is inserted into the TAR, and you can see here volume expanding, price rising, so that's a plus X. Volume contracting, price rising, in fact that should be the other way around, that should be a plus X up here. It gets me a stronger reading, okay? And if volume expanding, price falling is an extra strong reading. Volume expanding, price contracting, it's not so strong. So they're the four readings of volume, and one of those is inputted into the TIR. Okay, so next week I'll just talk about how I build in the moving average. The idea of this is to show you some very simple ways of reading price, volume, and these indicators, and making it very clear there's only one answer to those things, and that one answer is what you use. Now, I use this because I want perspective. I don't want to base anything on one index. It gives me a consensus reading. It gives me confidence. If volume drops off, it doesn't matter too much. If momentum drops off, it doesn't matter too much. There are other readings in there that are just as important, measuring other aspects of price past behaviour. Okay, so that's what the trend intensity rating is all about. Okay, so that's about all I've got for you today. Next week the newsletter will come out. That's right, I think, and so really you can go to Stockradar now. You can take a free trial. If you want to find out what your stock rating is, you can go to Stockradar. We have ratings on all our stocks. We cover about 160 of the top stocks there. So anything you're interested in, you can always go to Stockradar and have a look and take that 2-week free trial. Okay, so for now, hang tight in a tough market. Okay, listen to your stops. Watch your trends, make sure you follow them all, be digital with everything you do. Okay, all right, well, that's a little bit of a chat for today. We'll go through a few things next week. Again, we hope we have an interesting week this week and a bit more exciting on the upside, but we have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you all next week.